Hello, guys, and welcome to the newest episode of Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. Today with me, we have an awesome cast. We've got Jason.
Hello, everyone.
We've got Dakota.
What's up? What's up?
We've got Shawn.
Yo!
And we've got myself, Eli, from Nintendo Enthusiast. So today, we're going to be talking about this awesome new 3DS announcement. So just some of the basics. It's going to have extra triggers, so it's pretty much going to have like a Circle Pad Pro built in, so it'll have a right little analog. Don't want to call it a nub because it's not a nub. It's more like a C-sticky thing, hard to explain. And it's also going to have more RAM, play a few exclusive games, and will probably cost about the same as a normal 3DS. So what do you guys think about this new 3DS? Why don't we start with Dakota? What do you think about the new 3DS? Would you be willing to grab it?
Well, right now I know that Smash isn't being made for it, so I'm only getting a regular 3DS, but I know they're going to update it eventually, so that's nice. But other than the name, I think it's great. I was kind of hoping for Super 3DS. I think that makes more sense, but I guess if they want to keep confusing consumers, by all means, go for it. The system itself looks really cool. I kind of anticipated a 3DS like enhancement, and I think this is definitely a good route for them to go. They're not really emphasizing the 3D. They're kind of just emphasizing a more well-rounded device, which was nice. And more stronger games and more features. I can't really argue with that. I just wish that it was coming out sooner and not sometime in 2015. And we don't know about. But other than that, I was pretty hyped with the announcement. I thought it was a really cool evolution of what we already have with the 3DS, which was already pretty awesome.
All right, yeah, I completely agree. I think the announcement was pretty cool. But before I chime in with my thoughts, what about you, Shawn?
Pretty much the same as Dakota. I think the name is atrocious, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully in America at least, maybe they'll change it or something. But as far as the actual system goes, like, yeah, that's a day one for me. Like, I'm all about some, it's not like the standard to the XL. It's, you're getting a bunch more features, you're getting a better system. I think it'll be really interesting to see the whole exclusive line. Like, it seems a lot of people kind of compare it to the DS, DSi. I think it's more of a Game Boy Color, because if the specs that have been leaked, which, could be just, a bunch of bull crap, but if those are true, like, it's going to be a more powerful system. So you would kind of see like better games for it, higher quality games, higher graphics and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, from what I saw and what I know about it, I really want one. But yeah, I kind of wish it was coming out sooner. But I kind of understand. You don't want to have too much stuff, with Pokemon and, Smash 3DS coming out. It would have been a good time to bust it out if it was compatible with Smash 3DS. But since it's not, like, 2015 is smart.
Why would you want that? Why is it a first day? Like, what gets you so excited? I don't get it.
Because it's new, it's different. Like, I like systems on day one, especially Nintendo systems, because like even the 3DS launch, which sucked, like, there really wasn't that many great games for it. Like, me and my homie were there, the only people at Walmart in Podunk, USA, because we live in a small area, just like, yo, let me get it now. We went at like 11:30, and they were like, no, you have to wait till midnight. But yeah, we just stayed up all night playing Street Fighter because, Nintendo's systems, like, as much flack as you want to give them for their decisions or business decisions, region lock and all that crap, like, their systems are always really, really fun. And most of the time, they're pretty different than their previous system. And I mean, even though this is just an extension of the 3DS line, it's different enough to get hype about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm going to be against it. Like, I don't understand Nintendo's strategy on this. I just feel like it's the wrong time to announce it. The 3DS had like its best year last year. They definitely built up the momentum on that. They followed that up with the 2DS. They have a great library. And now with Smash just around the corner, they're like, oh, we've got this great game, but we've got a system. If you're going to wait a few more months, that's going to add like more functionality by having that extra nub or whatever, which I assume Smash players would prefer having. And so, like, why announce it now? What do they have to gain from that? And I don't know. It's hype.
Well, to be fair though, the game is coming out in Japan first, and the system's also coming out in Japan first. So it's very clear that they're trying to push the Japanese market. I mean, 3DS was having a good run when the 2DS came out, and they had no problem announcing that. I don't know. I'm not against the new system upgrade. I can understand what Jason's saying, though, because it kind of seems like why, use that momentum just to transfer it to another system. But
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think a lot of the features are necessary, and the longer they wait, I don't think it's going to be as beneficial to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of side with Jason on this one. The thing is, like, I'll probably buy the 3DS, however, the new 3DS. However, I don't really think it's necessary. I feel like it's more like, like Iwata went over to Monolith and they're like, all right, port Xenoblade to the 3DS, and then they started working on it. And they're like, well, it's not gonna run on the 3DS. And then Iwata's like, all right, we got this. We're just gonna add some RAM and release a new system. I mean, it almost seems like we know that Nintendo releases systems built around their games. That's why like Nintendo Land, like the Wii U was built around that, and the Wii was built around Wii Sports, et cetera, et cetera. They kind of release these games or systems built around games, and in this case, I think it might have been that case again. However, if we remember when the Circle Pad Pro came out, there's 5 games that support the thing. So like if they come out and there's only 4 or 5 exclusives, I don't see a point noting the system, and especially if they're just ports. Like I own Xenoblade on the Wii. Do I really need a new 3DS to play it? And are there really all those features to justify a new purchase? And I don't really think Nintendo has proved to me that I need to buy it at this point, even though I probably will anyway. So once they start actually pumping out some sort of exclusives, which I don't even know if they will.
Do you really think they won't? Do you think they're gonna release a new version of their best-selling system right now and not make exclusive games for it? Just think about that.
And another thing is, like, this is obviously going to replace the 3DS. It's not like they're going to still be making 3DS systems, like a standard 3DS and then the new 3DS. Like, this is just, they're going to phase out the old 3DS, and this is going to be the new 3DS. And, everything's going to be compatible with that. So it's more of an extension. Like, you're not really alienating people by, making exclusives for it, because you're not going for really the same target. You're going for new people. I mean, 40-something million people already have a 3DS, and now they'll have a chance to upgrade if they want to play those games. If not, they can still use their 3DS. But, I mean, the old 3DS is going to be phased out anyway, so...
But, like, here's the thing to think about. Like, the next Pokemon game, for example. Well, I can't imagine the next Pokemon game being a new 3DS exclusive, because there's already 40 million 3DSs out there. So
But the new Pokemon game isn't exclusive for the new 3DS. It's coming out on the regular one.
Like the new generation, whatever. Not Alpha Ruby. Or,
I mean, I guess, but then that would mean that how has Pokemon grown across the years without people buying new systems to play the new games? I mean, that's just how the technology works. That's how everything works.
Almost like too soon to say. And I mean,
when did the 3DS come out?
2011.
Yeah, it's gonna be 4 years by the time the new 3DS hits the States.
Exactly.
That's
so I mean, I like Shawn's analogy of it's like upgrading the Game Boy Color, and I mean, sure, the Game Boy Color had Pokemon Yellow, for example, but that's not a huge leap. I can't imagine them releasing a new generation exclusively for the new 3DS.
I mean, they did that already for Pokemon, though.
Yeah, I expect that they're going to be. I mean, the next Pokemon exclusive is going to be maybe 2 years away. So by then, yeah, you're going to see a lot of exclusive for it.
Plus, another thing is, it's not like they can't release. Okay, so let's say, for instance, like a year and a half, 2 years from now, Nintendo releases a game that's specifically for the new 3DS. But I mean, at the same time, what they can do is they can make it be enhanced on the new 3DS. So
yeah, so I was about to say this. Why don't they just come out with 2 versions?
Exactly. Or maybe not even that. Just make the same version, but have different stuff on it. For if you buy the new 3DS version, you get this, and this is better, and this looks better, or whatever. Or even 2 different versions. I mean, they could
easily put like a day 1 patch in there, and be like, all right, if you buy the game and it goes for the regular 3DS, cool. But if you have the new 3DS, you'll get to download that patch, and it upgrades the game for you. Beep boop, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be awesome. The only problem, there are 2 things. Number one, I just don't think this new 3DS has like quote unquote staying power. I think it'll be out for a few years, but I don't feel like it's as Shawn said, it's not like the whole new thing. It's more like an extension. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is I don't know if the name might be too much of a barrier almost. And I mean, I'm not saying like to the point of like Wii U, like at the very beginning where there was so much confusion, but more like you're going into a game store and you're picking up games and the side of the box says new 3DS versus 3DS. Like, is someone really going to know the difference? Especially if they're just, I mean, we will, but if a casual mama walks in and they release a new Zelda game, whatever, that's exclusive to the new 3DS, which I don't think they'll do, but it says new 3DS versus 3DS, how will she know which one to pick?
You gotta educate your mom. You gotta educate. I used to do when I was a kid. I was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
mom, this is it right here."
You have to lay it out for them.
I mean,
Yeah, they could have just freaking called it like the Super 3DS. It's
Super
a
3DS is
3DS.
a much better name. Super 3DS is much better. But I will give it credit. As much as it's a crappy name, it's not a worse name than the Wii U. The Wii U implies it's an extension of the Wii, but it's not. But the new 3DS implies that it's not a new extension, but it kind of is.
they could call it the
sure.
3DSU.
Oh God.
Like,
And last thing on those specs, like I don't understand if they are real. No AC adapter, like what's up with that?
That's
I think that's in, like, we released that. I wrote about that, but that's so far just in Japan. The thing is, the 3DS XL actually doesn't come with a AC adapter in Japan either, but it does in North America. So in North America, I think it might come with an AC adapter.
maybe Japanese people just have like AC adapters lying around everywhere, and there's no reason to pack it in with it, I guess.
And I think there's been enough DSs and 3DSs sold in Japan for like every citizen to have one at this point.
It's like a Band-Aid.
I wouldn't be surprised if like some places, like how places here have like cell phone chargers, like stations in certain places where like you can go and plug in your phone with a bunch of other people. I bet they have that for the 3DS somewhere in Japan.
That would be interesting to find out. Totally off topic, but I would like to research
If
that.
anybody knows that listens, if they know if they have like public 3DS charging stations, let us know, because that would be very interesting. We're interested.
And I know we're running a bit, on time here, but the last thing I do want to point out is what is up with Nintendo's archaic ways of like still region locking. Like I know none of us here really speak or read Japanese, so it doesn't affect us. But like, why keep that when all the competitors have started dropping it?
Well, I mean, Dakota, I'm sure like if the 3DS was not region locked, you would have probably imported Smash, right?
Well, of course, yeah. If it wasn't region locked, I'd be importing the Japanese version. That's like the big hassle here, is that everyone who's trying to get in on the action early has to buy a completely new system, and then a lot of people are trying to upgrade to the XL or waiting for the new 3DS so they have to make another purchase. It's kind of crazy. I was told that apparently they do this because sometimes the systems or the games cost less outside of Japan, so Japanese people will import the abroad games rather than buying the games in Japan because they're more expensive. But I don't know if this is true. I could be completely talking out of my ass, but I don't know how importing and exporting, all that kind of, the whole metagame there or whatever. But I think it's still pretty archaic and kind of draconian to have this region lock. In fact, I was actually just looking at, this is sort of unrelated and more esports rather than regular gaming, but Blizzard just region locked WCS, which is the World Championship Series for StarCraft, and everyone's hyped, and I was like, LOL, if this was like a game system, everyone would be super tight. But that's a completely different story. Either way, yeah, region locking is really annoying, especially for a game like this, which is so huge but not being released simultaneously around the world like Pokemon XY was. So it's really frustrating because now we got to wait that extra month. It seems, I don't know, to me, to the regular person, seems unnecessary. Either way, they're going to get my money, whether I buy the Japanese version or the American version, so I don't know.
I don't really care. I mean, just because I don't really import games like.
Well, I don't either, but it's Smash Bros. Though.
But yeah, I mean, I know you're a big fan of that, so it's definitely understandable. But I think in the grand, I mean, I could see how it's an issue, but I think a lot of people just like to blow it out of proportion just because it's Nintendo. Like.
Well, I think there's just Nintendo is kind of a niche market to say per se, and like. Considering that importing is very niche, they kind of go together well. So a lot of Nintendo fans might be more apt to importing. So that's why it might be a little bit of a bigger deal, especially when you got games, for example, like Hyrule Warriors that come out a month to 2 months earlier in Japan. And if, someone's a really big Japanese game enthusiast, they might want to, we should trademark that site, by the way, just import something like that. But
if they're that big of an enthusiast, then wouldn't they just have a Japanese system already?
I mean, perhaps, but maybe they want to play American games too. You never know. So Anyway, I think that's where we'll finish off today's discussion. Everyone who's listening, thanks for listening. Make sure to head to the comments below. Let us know what you think about the new 3DS and region locking and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. Nintendo Enthusiast.